We can just talk about how disappointed we were with the Rumble.
Yeah. Even though the fan reaction has been going on for quite some time, and they really crescendoed at the Rumble, we're recording now. And last, oh, by the way, we're taping this again on March 8th, 2014, and the last Raw that was in Chicago, they tried to hijack Raw, which WWE, to their credit, has admitted that it was their idea at first, which is very sleazy and underhanded, but...
Typical.
Yeah.
And they also incited it a bit with a Bad News Barrett promo.
Right, yeah. Even Heyman did he came out to CM Punk's music.
Yeah.
Well, they got that twice in one night. They got poked in the eye.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. The Bad News Barrett thing actually got axed. It was Paul Heyman that came out to the CM Punk music.
Oh, so...
He told them he wasn't showing up.
Oh, okay.
And then what he did was he blamed The Undertaker for Punk not being there. For not beating The Undertaker at Mania, and now he wants to get it done. He wants revenge, and then he, talked about Lesnar.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I tell you what, this whole thing, I understand that we're fans, and what do we really know? We're not in the business. We don't have a stake in this. These aren't our careers. But I just want to be entertained, and to be honest, I see this... The more things in wrestling that are going right, like Chikara, and the less things that are going right in WWE, I'm slipping away
into the indies a little bit.
Into the indies a little bit more, and
because the fans don't even have a respect for kayfabe anymore.
Yeah,
the line is getting way too blurred, and it's not supposed to be that way.
It's the wrestler's fault, though. Get off of social media.
Well, I mean, even then, they're self-sanitized.
Yeah. I'm like, you can work people on social media, but you can't be Matt Hardy. Yeah, Matt Hardy every day.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be Scott Brooks, aka CM Punk. You can't be
Phil Brooks.
Phil Brooks, sorry. Scott Brooks.
Who is Scott Brooks? See, in relation to Al Brooks.
Who's Harry?
Scott Brooks is a hockey guy, I think, maybe. But like, the whole thing started because we know CM Punk's a diva. I understood the pipe bomb thing.
Yeah.
But just real quick to wrap it up, every single time there's been something that he hasn't liked, he's had something to say about it. He's spoken up and gotten involved in everything, and they knew this was coming because he was madder than hell about the first Rock Cena main eventing WrestleMania.
I don't blame him.
And he said so.
I was upset by that too.
Because he was the current WWE champion. He didn't feel that The Rock had earned a spot by showing up on, a couple of Raws, cutting a few promos, and, disappearing for 10 years and getting the main event. So when they went with the decision to have Batista win the Rumble and main event against Orton, Punk flipped out because his whole goal was the main event this year's WrestleMania. So he took his ball and went home. They've been negotiating, trying to get him to come back, and right now, if they have McMahon on, it seems like it's going to work out. He doesn't get along with Triple H right now.
No. Honestly, you call him a diva. Is that a good connotation or a bad connotation?
It got to the point where, at first I agreed with a lot of the stuff that he said, and I agreed with him on The Rock. But there were other things that he was weighing in on that it was just to the point where it almost seemed abrasive, and he was taking a little too much credit for his own success. He would, if a fan commented with some stupid fantasy booking on WWE, he'd straight up tell him you're an idiot, instead of just ignoring it. You don't need to call somebody that's probably a lonely 15-year-old kid that decided to post on your media account because he's a fan of yours. You don't need to insult him like that.
Or three guys with the podcast. I beg to differ. It's just nice to see someone who cares that much.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I agree with him about his spot in the company and everything, but he was just weighing in on just about everything, and it got annoying to me.
Yeah, but if you don't have anyone standing up and speaking out, who will?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm glad Daniel Bryan has a voice. There's one thing I wish Daniel Bryan can do better is self-advocate.
Didn't Dr. Who was his doctor? Not Dr. Stevie, the other Dr. Sheldon. Wasn't he helping him with that?
You talking about Big Bang Theory? Dr.
No. The therapist guy that was helping.
Oh, yeah.
Or Shelby or whatever his name is. But, so basically...
Go-face kid.
The fans took this all to heart, the whole CM Punk thing, and they were just like, no, screw this, we want CM Punk. So what's been happening is if there's some random match in there that they don't like or whatnot, they're just chanting CM Punk throughout the entire thing. And now they're on social media planning to do this and attending Raw, buying tickets just to do this.
I should have brought a Colt Cabana head to the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, definitely. He's awesome.
I love Colt.
So we've had that going on, and the discussion we're trying to get into here is, does it take away from it? Is it disrespectful to the competitors in the ring? And, where do we all stand on that?
I think there definitely comes a point where you can definitely cross that line, and that line is drawn around the arena. If you take that any animosity, if you give animosity anywhere far away from the wrestling ring, like at an airport or a restaurant, any other situation, that's taking it too far. Come on, guys, this is entertainment. We're supposed to be having fun with this. This podcast is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Wrestling's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be the be-all, end-all. I think to the guys in the ring, you can say whatever you want. It's open game. I wish I could tell in the ring.
I just wish it would relate to the match in progress, though.
Okay, but it's still their right. It's still their right to say, because on some whatever level it is, Orton, Cena, Royal Rumble 2014, fans were going ape, not for all the right reasons. But they were still invested.
Yeah.
They were. The worst thing they could have done is got up to go buy a t-shirt, because that was the time to do it. So.
Now there's a movement we should start. Bad match, buy your merch.
Yeah, okay. Buy the merch of the guys you do like.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's not a thing.
Yeah.
It was like,
the John Cena walkout.
Oh yeah, John Cena would walk away from that fight every time.
No. I just meant the John Cena walkout. Like, he's in the match and the fans just get up and go buy merchandise.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, voting with your dollar. I'm surprised
that's what I've been doing. That's why I buy Undertaker t-shirts and Edge t-shirts and not like Cena t-shirts.
Okay, but you don't really hear anything about that. Maybe that's like comparing dick sizes or something. I've sold more t-shirts than you.
The only time they really did that recently, he was on Challenge for so long until Punk.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
The only person that ever challenged him or exceeded him in merch sales, Cena, was CM Punk.
Was that an angle though? Was that part of the angle?
Well, it's all an angle. You have the guy coming out wearing his new t-shirt every single week, but I mean, it worked. He was over enough to sell all that stuff. So, in some ways it was a work, in other ways it was natural.
At what point in merchandise success does that equal to a push? You think that would have a correlation?
Usually the push comes first.
They just don't care. They're going to push who they want when they want.
Yeah.
It just all comes down to that. It's the way they run. It's what most companies run. I mean, I would say some listen more than others, but WWE, they're bullheaded. They're thick-headed. They don't get it. They just don't get it.
We're kind of feeling the aftershocks now, but things came to such a head during the Rumble, and the crux of that was the fans not getting what they wanted.
Yes, and I was one of them.
Yeah, you guys were both.
I tried getting Kamala chants started. I love Kamala. God bless him. Good gospel singer.
There you go.
I mean, this is a
Bruno.
once-in-a-lifetime thing for Pittsburgh to get one of the big four. We almost never get one of these.
And we probably won't ever get one.
No, this is it. Yeah, that was it. We got bragging rights and over the limit till the cows go home.
And they're going to be like, well, this is a really hostile crowd to what we present. That's why they had to move Extreme Rules, actually, whenever it wasn't ECW the year afterward, and the fans booed them out of the building.
I was so mad about that. Are we talking about the Rumble? The match?
Well, no, we'll do that another time.
Okay.
But I think the fans have the right to share anything they want when they pay their tickets.
Absolutely.
And be a part of the match. But you take.
I'm just saying, if I was a wrestler, I'd be
CM Punk on the bus
frustrated
or
as
something.
hell by it. If I'm in the ring and I'm trying to do a good thing and they don't even acknowledge
I think if you're trying, people will pick up on that. Like Ziggler.
Yeah.
Ziggler tries, Miz tries, Barrett tries, Cena tries to a degree. I don't think Orton tries as much as he should. For him being a top guy, he doesn't
Goes through
try.
the motions.
Right. He's very complacent.
Robotic. Yeah.
This is like Steve Austin walking out. Remember that happened?
Right. Which I agree with him on that.
He's supposed to job to Lesnar or whatever. But really, when you think about it, I mean, yeah, if he would have lost to the Kingdom qualifying match, like he was mad there was no rhyme or reason, no build up for it. But
You have him lose in a dirty way, you know.
yeah,
You
look how much money
not
he
clean.
makes.
Yeah, it was like, and honestly, if Steve Austin didn't walk out then, he would have walked out another time.
Yeah, it was just
If he was as hurt as if he was that hurt as he says he is, he would have walked out another time.
That was pretty much the end of Austin. I mean, 'cause he came back and nothing really happened.
No.
I mean, they had a great match with The Rock at Mania in 03, but that's about it.
I don't blame Steve Austin. I really don't.
But we're just seeing this spill over more and more. And it's not to the point where it seems like it's hurting their merchandise sales. It's just like they're actively trying to hijack shows now.
Which is good. I like that.
It's time for that new generation to start, man. You need to push the young guys. It's like WCW.
Fans are clamoring to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
They don't want to see Batista anymore. They don't want to see Orton. They don't want to see these guys. I don't want to see Big Show ever again.
No, I don't blame you.
It's too much. It's oversaturation. How many times we get Triple H? They need to get rid of this general manager garbage too. They need to bring back real managers for wrestlers. They need to get rid of general managers. And they need to get rid of these stupid ass clowns
Authority
on the mic.
figures and redoing the Vince McMahon
We don't
Austin
need that.
storyline over and over. And over.
Oh, how many with the commissioner?
You can have a
general
commissioner, but just once in a while. You don't need
Competition
them.
committee, the championship committee, the
How many-
general manager,
President.
Yeah.
How many times was Jack Tunney on television? Hardly ever.
Right.
You don't need them to be there every week, because it's just so predictable. Just have matches. The matches should tell the story. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you need this general man to make? They sit there, they waste 20 minutes in the ring. No one cares.
At the start of every show.
Yep.
That's
It's
the thing.
so boring.
People should start decimating that A block segment. And they're
Mhm.
starting to just do that to Stephanie McMahon.
And now, you know what they're starting to do? They're starting to do it not at just the beginning of the show, every first hour segment. Now you have promos at 10 o'clock, and you have promos at, you have promos at 8, promos at 9, and promos at 10 o'clock now. It's horrible. Daniel Bryan, the people want to see him wrestle. He went out there and talked to Stephanie McMahon for 14 freaking minutes.
Why is
I was
she on
talking about
TV?
that. But that was interesting. I can't remember what was happening.
He hit me with his finishing move, the channel change at that point, and I kept flipping back and forth.
Boo you, sir. Boo you.
Why is she on TV still?
She should not be on television.
I mean,
Neither
Okay.
should Vicky Guerrero
No.
None of them.
or Dixie
I mean,
Carter.
They're all stale. Who cares? I mean,
Do like that Emma though. You know?
Emma?
Oh, she's she was
yeah.
on NXT. She had this. She can't dance, but damn, is she a good submission wrestler?
yeah, but will that carry over? Probably not. And that makes me mad too. It's
Look,
false hope.
it
NXT is false hope.
It kind of is, but it kind of builds people. Wyatt came out of NXT.
It's great.
Daniel Bryan came out of NXT.
Dean Ambrose came out of NXT, but his
Yeah.
gimmick changed so much.
Right.
Which, for the better, arguably. I like him better now than if they would have tried to pull off his original thing, because it doesn't fit
No.
the
Yeah.
whole PG thing.
So when did this start? The PG 2009, 10.
No, it was maybe a little earlier, maybe 06, 07.
06, we still had ECW. And
Yeah, but
07
remember how squeaky
07
clean ECW was?
Yeah, there wasn't people even going. to
No,
games.
you remember ECW on Sci-Fi when RVD was fighting Test and Hardcore Holly?
Yeah, those hardcore matches, extreme rules matches.
No, dude, they were pretty good. They were
good, but
hardcore matches though.
I don't.
Hardcore Holly got his back sliced open.
Oh,
That
that
was
was an
accident,
accident,
yeah.
though.
Still,
And plus, they still turned the screen to black and white.
it was a good no blood hardcore match. The Test and RVD match. It
Yeah.
died in 2007 when ECW had to come out of the crowd.
I don't really think PG really describes the content of the show. It's just whether or not how's it produced. Is it overproduced, or how much did the wrestlers say?
Yeah.
Honestly, let's be real.
Yeah.
PG, the only reason why the PG era has anything negative to say about it because it's just way too overproduced. Too many hands are stirring the pot on that.
Mhm.
I'm trying to relate this back to the fans.
They're just tired of it.
I think fans are being tired of being force fed.
We're also seeing a larger shift, like you said, how you're shifting more to the independents. We're starting to see that from the fans and who they support.
Right.
You know, I don't think Cesaro would have been anywhere near as over as he was years ago, but people recognize his abilities more than his gimmick. Mm-hmm. Years ago, it would have had, in 2006, 2007, it would have had to have been his gimmick. Now they're actually recognizing his in-ring work.
Yeah. Like 10 years ago, Cesaro now got hopped in the time machine, went back 10 years, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
He just fizzed out.
But it would have been just what he was when he started out, where he had potential, but he wouldn't end up going anywhere.
Right. But he was given a manager. He was given a good guy to work with.
And then they flipped him face, and it worked.
Yeah.
Or they're in the process of doing it, but, we can read the tea leaves and see where that one's going.
Probably not far.
No.
No.
Not far off, anyway.
But I do like, in terms of positively with fans hijacking a show, Fandango is great. You get people dancing around like that.
Yeah. I'm still bitter about the first dancer not being there and getting replaced by Coke now as the tall blonde. His ballerina, she was adorable.
Can we change the podcast? Let's just talk about her. Mm-hmm. I wanted her to be the next Miss Elizabeth so bad.
I forgot he was even standing on the stage because she was over there just doing her bit. She was all shy.
I have one thing that there's one man that can lead this revolution.
Disco Inferno.
Nope. Of the fans. You want a mutiny, you call Paul Burchill. As soon as the fans go nuts, he starts swinging his sword, and he's part of the mutiny. That's how they can get revenge on fans.
You have him waving around. Not even, you can't have a sword. But like you have him waving around.
He never wrestles.
He's just in the audience.
You give him a Jolly Roger or something. You make that the fan, like the anti-establishment.
Why don't we start selling Jolly Rogers? Interview guy. He can swing in and like interview the person, like you get drunk on rum or something.
Yeah, like they used to do that with Sean Mooney, right?
Yep. You want a mutiny? Paul Burchill.
Like Joel Gerner had the neck brace.
Yeah.
Paul Burchill could have the pirate costume.
Yeah.
There you go.
You tired of watching this crap? Yeah.
Arrgh.
Yeah.
Leave the mutiny, man. You can finally get over. Thank God for
that. And this match. You have him on the mic? Oh, yeah.
I should work for them. I could probably turn this company around.
Or, you know who could do that right now? If there's a horrible match going on and they know it, they can intentionally sabotage it by sending Bad News Barrett out. I'm afraid I've had some bad news. The fans have gotten up and left. Everyone is walking out.
Has he even wrestled yet, that guy?
Bad News Barrett?
With his new gimmick?
No. I don't think he has to.
He just shows up on a podium from the stage and starts talking. It's amazing.
It's a nice, easy paycheck.
Absolutely.
That's great.
I think he's a good. He was a good worker, and
just fizzed out.
I think yeah. Well, that's all right. Well, he's given an easy. He's given an easy job.
They gave him too many different gimmicks. Yeah. Ending
the streak.
No, whatever they were supposed to be, and then when they made them the core, the Nexus. Ending the Nexus was a bad idea. When and how they did it. I did like CM Punk taking it over though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the fans, I do like that they're almost to the point of being ECW where they voice their displeasure a little more. I do like that.
Yeah. And it has this.
And we're starting to see
moments.
the You Can't Wrestle chants come back, especially in TNA with Ethan Carter. They hate him. And I don't blame them. He's really not that good. Any positive feelings we thought he had potential as of whatever pay-per-view that was, they've faded away. He sucks.
He's a nice guy.
Oh, I'm sure he is. He seems like it.
Get out of the ring now.
Sorry.
Oh.
He was in
NXT.
Yeah.
They didn't want him in NXT. A developmental league.
He went OUT. Out. Yeah.
What do you say? Do you agree with me? Do fans have the right to voice their opinion when they buy a ticket?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't... I mean, if I'm the wrestler in the ring, it's personally frustrating to me. Like, Orton had a problem with it because, he realizes, I think, that he screws up and, he feels like he should be given more credit for what he does when he hasn't really done much lately. And especially for the mid-carders, the guys that are trying to earn their check, that are banking on their performance because they know they're not getting onto the pay-per-view.
But who... Can you give me an example of a mid-card match being screwed over by the fans? I'm trying to think.
Fandango recently on Raw. I forget who was wrestling.
So people were crapping on him?
No, they were just chanting CM Punk the whole time.
Oh, that's different because they were in Chicago.
but then the week before, it's just annoying to me. If I'm in the ring wrestling like Dolph Ziggler and somebody's chanting CM Punk during the whole thing, like it pisses me off. He's not here.
They want him though. I think this is it's not once. It's not.
And it'd be frustrating to me
thing.
if I'm a kid. And like I'm trying to watch like a match of people that I like. I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't appreciate it then.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would really deter a kid.
It's just weird now
Watching.
because we have the internet and Facebook and all that rubbish, and that's what kind of like ruins the nostalgia of wrestling in a way. Because like 20 years ago, yeah, there's a few guys I went on the internet last night and know the results, but I mean now it's just like this epidemic where like people, it's just wrestling.
Yeah.
If you
Grow up.
Get used to WWE not giving you what you want because that's what they're not for.
Or like whenever they chanted Albert at Tensai. I mean, it was funny the first time they did it, but after that, it's just like, okay.
Well,
you know what I chant every time I see Tensai?
Hip hop, hippo.
Nope. Let's go Pitt.
Let's go Pitt.
Yeah,
Let's go Pitt. Yeah, you play for Pitt.
Basketball or football?
Football. I forget
Okay,
what. Yeah, he was on. He was defense.
He was not very fleet of foot.
He got kind of derailed. Do you think that's because of Brock Lesnar coming back? Because I thought he was going to be like the new guy for Cena, but it seemed like that just kind of didn't happen.
He also sandbagged Ryback and refused to let him pick him up.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Actually, he didn't really not let him. He was just fat.
He just didn't like go after Cena that much. It was like,
No.
we're kind of, why don't we go somewhere else? And then they had Brock Lesnar come and just maul him. I think that's why he got kind of slowed down because Lesnar's back.
There's only so many people you need like that, though. Now they're trying to do it with Brodus Clay. He's apparently turning mean.
I could see him if they paint up his face and make him like a big
That's what he was supposed to be.
Street Fighter kind of
But
guy.
because he screwed he went on Twitter. It's like, hey, watch me destroy John Morrison tonight. They're like, you weren't supposed to do that. You're now the hip hop hippo.
I just be like,
I like the hip hop hippo. It's fun.
I
feel
could
like
not
you gotta
believe
release
when I
him, though.
turned on Raw and it just cuts to Justin Roberts. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, the Funkasaurus. Brodus Clay. What?
why did they
House
punish
should have
him?
been Funkasaurus.
He should have been. Why did they punish him?
He went on
Because he
Twitter.
ruined the announcement of
Uh.
what he was going to do to John Morrison before it even happened and anybody even knew. That was supposed to be his debut.
He looks like that big fat guy from Street Fighter, not the sumo, but
The other one.
Yeah, he like
Zangief.
something like that. Yeah, they should paint him. They should give him like this weird makeup and have him like a.
Is he Samoan?
I don't know what the hell he is.
No, I think he's just very light-skinned African American.
Okay. Wait, I don't want this to sound racist. He can't be interracial.
He could be Mexican and African American. Yeah, he could be.
Could just be dirty.
I was thinking white, and he was white and black.
That too. He could be that.
Could just be dirty.
Okay, look, Brodus Clay. I'm sorry. What are you, sir? I'm sorry. I don't want to be offensive.
They didn't know that Taz was Sicilian. They thought he was African American.
Taz is Sicilian?
Yeah, according to Heidenreich.
Oh well, there's the source. That could be true. I think it'll be true though.
Yeah.
That's one man I'm going to rip apart to shreds on a podcast. One time.
Taz?
Yeah.
You hate Taz?
I can't stand Taz.
So
On the
if you see him,
microphone
if you see
or on the
him, you
microphone
do
or
it.
in ring?
On the microphone and some in-ring work.
I'm glad you brought up Taz. That guy on Tough Enough, when they were about to pick the final group of people to go live in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The guy just ragged on Taz, and Taz wasn't even there. And
Yeah.
that Big John just said, yeah, this guy has to make it. And now Snow's like, why? We'll see. Meanwhile, Taz was a trainer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. For like their last little trial to get in the house. This dude didn't make it.
yeah,
But
obviously.
yeah, I mean, that's a situation where fans taking it too far. We were supposed to be a professional in that situation, but
Yeah, Taz, I read a book about it. And I don't know if he even knows it. That's what's scary.
Taz?
Do you know how bad you suck as an announcer?
Oh, as an announcer.
Are you aware of it?
I said, what do you think? What about him as a wrestler?
I wasn't really impressed.
Okay, that's fine.
He's alright, but I mean...
Him as an announcer, yeah, absolutely not.
Is it just a joke that he does it, or is he trying? I mean, that's what's scary.
I think he tries.
That's
and
the
that's
worst
what's scary.
part.
Right.
The guy can't pronounce
I
English.
missed Don West.
He's like, this is so
I do too.
dysfunctional.
Yeah.
He
The
held it
function-
together.
I mean, he's just the worst announcer I think there's ever been.
Michael Cole's pretty damn bad.
But he can speak
Yeah.
English.
Have you heard the three-way...
Michael, they've let Michael Cole go too far out on his leash.
Have
That's
you
the
heard of
thing.
the three-way slap fest on Raw between JBL, the King, and Cole, where they pay no attention whatsoever to the match.
Oh, dude! Honestly, they've been doing that for years.
I know, but it's gotten to the point where the match ends. It's like, neck breaker. It's over.
Ross. This is one of the reasons why I don't give Ross any credit. Michael Cole, JBL, and even to an extent the King. King's Hall of Fame, but you won't see JBL and Michael Cole in the Hall of Fame. I truly believe that. But you remember, people held Jim Ross on such a high pedestal. Remember back in '97, there was a three-man or six-man tag.
Yeah.
It was Breeders versus someone else, and halfway through the match, Jim Ross just gives up. It's like, oh, anyone see any good movies? Fuck you, you asshole!
Yeah, they're trying to ring.
Dude, yeah, you're getting paid good money. You're getting paid good money to get me to care about this match, and you're just gonna give up like that?
Mm-hmm.
Every single match before the main event, he would talk about the main event and then allude to something that happened between like Triple H and Austin. And it's like,
oh yeah,
I'm sorry, are either one of them involved right now?
Right? Yeah. You're right. Cole and JBL and King shouldn't be doing that.
No. But Ross, he did it worse too.
Oh yeah, and yeah, he doesn't get called.
Really, Jim Ross only got famous for a couple notable calls.
Stone Cold, Stone Cold,
no,
Stone Cold,
not even that.
Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold.
The one people remember. Hell in a Cell. That's the only reason, because he nailed it down perfectly. God is my witness, he is broken in half.
Somebody, please stop the damn match. Oh,
please stop your announcing.
Yeah, sorry, guy. Sorry.
Not you, but freaking JR. I never liked him either.
Right. Cole's not too bad. Cole, they let Cole get to his head, man. That's the thing. He does his job.
Yeah.
You know, he does what they require of him.
Who was that guy that TNA had for a while and then they got rid of?
Todd Kennelly. I thought he was really good. Yeah, he sounded like a wrestling announcer. He wasn't like the moron like the other. He sounded like a moron like Taz or Mike Tenay.
Mike Tenay is not a.
The week before.
Mike Tenay has always been that great third guy. The unobjective, not the heel, not the face, just the
play-by-play.
Yeah. Or if you don't know, Tito want to
say he's
that guy. Yeah.
He overanalyzes everything. He's like, okay, now he's in the turnbuckle, and now he's like seizing him and
in a cage match, Taz. He doesn't even have to be pinned. The other guy can just climb over. Yeah, we know.
Thank you for your match. He has to explain every little detail, and it's just like, all right, buddy.
Well, Todd Kennelly's last week on the show was hilarious because they said, they were trying to tease him, and then afterward, Taz was like, oh, it's okay, Todd. Everybody here likes you at this table. And he goes, I beg to differ on that one. Like real low under his breath, but the microphone picked it up perfectly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know how Taz has a job. I'd fire him in a minute.
And the other thing with being a fan, though, is I think they should appreciate that they have it better. The people watching it on TV, we're the ones that suffer, and we're the ones that have to deal with the temptation of changing the channel.
I will have no problems if honestly, this happened to me one time. I did something with my remote, and I turned on the Spanish, but the Spanish wasn't going.
Mm.
So, I watched Raw on silent.
You have to.
Yeah, it really wasn't that bad.
No. Except for expecting the sounds of the turnbuckle and everything.
No, they picked up
the noise. It didn't pick up the commentating.
Right. Anything that was on a live microphone, you couldn't really hear.
Oh, thank God. That'd be perfect.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Then I figured it out because I didn't want to break the TV.
Have you found a way to keep doing that? Maybe we should do that from now on.
On the cable box that I have from my Comcast, there's a button you can press to turn on the Spanish.
Ooh.
Oh, I wasn't even saying the Spanish. Just turning.
Well, no, I think they fixed it now.
Damn.
Because I think if you hit the Spanish button, Spanish will come on.
Mm.
I'm not sure it was like my TV or cable box or something, but I hit that Spanish button by accident, and I didn't hear anything. No words, just the sounds.
Oh,
it's like watching Japanese wrestling.
Yeah.
Except guys aren't talking.
Yeah.
Really fast. I wish I understood Japanese. I want to know what they're saying. I want to know what the actual storylines are.
It's like watching the Iron Chef and they get really excited and yell, but that's the commentating style.
Well, they have translated some of them.
Yeah.
which most aren't too bad.
Yeah.
And the Japanese crowd's completely different too. Like fandom in other countries, like you see more pent up demand because they don't get the live crowds as awesome. So when they go, they get their money's worth. They chant, they do whatever, they boo whoever they want.
Right.
Like Cena gets booed out of the building in Europe. Like TNA, their most successful impacts I've seen lately are the ones that are in England. I love those.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd actually cares.
Yeah, that's very true.
And but the Japanese wrestling is just such a different thing because they're just so quiet and respectful. The only time I've ever seen them freak out was when Hogan wrestled Chono. And it was like Hogan's first time there in like 20 years. And it was in 2003 before they set up the Hogan Jarrett thing. And they went nuts. He had this huge like walkway to walk down. And they were not quiet and respectful. They were all standing up and they were just freaking out cheering for him. And Chono, though.
Yeah, when they go nuts, and I love it.
They do.
So fans, hijacking Raw, I say go for it. Keep it respectful.
Yeah.
The guys who aren't that good, they will get better. They're gonna have an angle or a gimmick where you will cheer for them. In terms of like Fandango, yeah, they may have been chanting CM Punk, but he also has the da 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 da. Oh, that was I Dream of Jeannie, but
Yeah.
No, that's actually his name. That's how it
da
starts.
da no.
Da, 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 da,
Da,
da,
da.
da. I might have skipped the bar there, but that's his theme still.
Yeah, but no, his theme song isn't I Dream of Jeannie.
That's not I Dream of Jeannie.
No, but it sounds like it though.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
It sounds more like a really bad talk show one, or
Sounds like Dick Van
game
Dyke.
show one too. It sounds
Yeah.
like a game show.
Look, wrestling's made on the decisions on the fans, pretty much.
Unless you're in WWE. a
Unless
lot
you're in
of times.
WWE, yeah.
Mhm.
Or TNA right now.
It's a self-correcting system.
Yep.
Pretty much. Just keep it in good taste. Sometimes people don't, and that's okay.
See, that's the other thing I don't like is like, I would feel awkward going to an ECW show with children, and like chanting. Like I would be like I've oftentimes held back my chanting or yelling stuff like "you suck" just because I saw like a family with kids and I hate that.
And see, a lot of the families with kids, a lot of the times they're the worst.
Yeah, in some cases the kids, especially at the local indie shows, the kids are the little brats that try to fight the wrestlers.
If there's no security railing, it is complete anarchy. It is anarchy. You wonder why? I was like, it's not the school's fault. It's not the media.
It's parents.
It's the parents. This was 100% the parents.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Although the one incident I do remember is when they were trying to still pass off ECW and put it on life support when we went to SmackDown.
WWECW.
There was a dad and his kid. The kid was cheering for like Tommy Dreamer, and we just ripped Tommy Dreamer apart and how bad this was and how it wasn't ECW.
That'll make that kid stronger, though.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully.
Like the dad kept looking back. It's like we're telling the truth.
I yelled at this one kid at a power game. This is way before Mike DiBiase was wrestling
Oh, yeah.
as Ted DiBiase Jr. or Ted DiBiase. Were you there for that?
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah.
What happened to this?
We were talking about wrestling or something, and guy behind us started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid he was with, I don't think that was his son. I think it was just a friend.
Big brother type thing.
Yeah. And then I bet you this kid doesn't even know who Ted DiBiase is. Ha ha ha. And the kid said, "Who?"
Yeah.
I'm like, guy, you gotta get this kid a VCR or something.
Yeah,
Show
man.
him some tapes. You know.
Isn't it sad when that's old? I mean.
Yeah, no, it's just you're getting old.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting old. That's the only sad thing.
I know. I've had younger people ask me who Rob Van Dam is, and I'm like,
Yeah.
You lived through the best era of wrestling. It'll never be that good again. You can't. There's no way.
Yeah, ECW in its heyday was great. I'm mad that I missed World Class. I would have loved World Class.
It was all right. I mean, I could.
Man, they were way ahead of their time.
I
They
wish
did
I
some
was
cool
older
things.
for early TNA. I loved TNA up until 2007.
Oh, yeah, I agree with
That's
that.
when it came
Like
really hard
03
to
to
watch.
05, probably my favorite of all time, other than RVD's title reign, was Raven's title reign in
Yeah.
05. That was like when everything was perfect. You had AJ Styles and all the great X Division title matches.
Soon as I miss Bonnie Brown when he was going for the,
Oh yeah.
The title against
Oh.
Jarrett.
That would
Yeah.
frustrate me.
and then he I want to know what he's doing now. I would walk up to Monty Brown right now and I would apologize. I would apologize so much. I feel so bad for the guy.
Well, he could still come back if he wanted to.
Yeah, but he got poked in the eye.
He did. When he was in his prime, he should have been the champion for a while, at least for half a year.
Then he went to WWE.
He wrestled Corvon. He wrestled like 4 matches.
He wrestled in WrestleMania, and I know he got a payday from that, but
He did get an action figure, so
yeah, he got money. You got money. That's all you need.
It's a shame, though.
On that note,
That's Fandom and Wrestling, guys.
There
Yeah.
it is.
guys, keep doing what you're doing. Hey, if you want to share our name at a Raw, hey, you're more than welcome to do it. Hashtag NSR Wrestling. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Vine, Snapchat,
Just not to my house.
Instagram,
The U.S. Postal Office.
Pinterest, email,
FetLife.
fax, Adult Friend Finder,
Wow.
Match,
Plenty of Fish. Match.com. Looking for good wrestling wife.
Match.com.
Oh, my God.
Well, it is wrestling related. I mean,
That's true. Wait, is
Match.com.
there a wrestling site?
It's also a
for-
Pyromaniac's dating site.
Oh, I might have to look into that now. For New School Republic,
Nice.
research purposes.
YouTube. We forgot YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Yeah, I was just naming social media.
Very good.
Or just hey, if you just want to chant our name in a crowded place, yeah, you're more than welcome to
And
do
our
it.
letters are even easier. NSR.
NSR.
It rolls off the tongue. It's
Yeah.
not like trying to chant.
It's not like ECW where like W had 2 extra syllables in there.
Or could you imagine trying to chant WWF? It just doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
WWF.
Not even WCW worked.
No.
WCW.
WCW.
WCW. Yeah, that's effort.
That's like trying to chant "Let's Go Abyss" because it always comes out "Let's Go Abyss." It always sounds really weird.
This. NSR. 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 NSR.
John Lee.
John Lee. John Lee.
That's a wrap.
Yep, thank you.
Night.
Peace.
Wow.